this campaign for many of the reasons, same reasons why you're in this room here tonight. Because as we all know, the direction that our country is taking under the current leadership in the U.S. House of Representatives and in the administration is not a direction that I felt like that I could just sit by and watch happen, just as most of you now are getting active and saying the same thing, that we just cannot tolerate the further leftward direction that this administration and Congress is taking our government. Really, there's an unprecedented attack on our personal liberties in this country at this time. And it's on all levels. With the continued out-of-control federal spending and the inability of the U.S. government right now to stop what they're doing in spending, it is going to damage our economic future so badly that our children and grandchildren will never be able to recover from it. And because of that, that is going to end up taking away freedoms that we have now that we're not going to have in the future, because we're just in such debt that America, the way you and I grew up in it, is not going to be the same. The other thing is the federal government is trying to enlarge at this time. This administration has an unprecedented ability to insource things into the federal government every day that should be in the private sector, should not be involved with the federal government. I was just talking to some leaders in the construction industry recently, and this administration is insourcing jobs within the federal government. They're not creating private sector jobs, and in fact, they're doing just the opposite. Government contracts that normally are going out to the private sector, this administration now is trying to bring those all within the government and hire people within the government to take away those jobs from contractors and others in the private sector. Just look at the auto industry, what's happened there with GM. I mean, right now we have an automobile company, one of the largest companies in the world, where you and I own 60% of the company. Canada owns 10%. That's not private sector job creation. That's bringing everything under the government umbrella, and it's just not the right direction to take. It's just been proven to be wrong throughout history that large governments with control of people's personal liberties and control of the private sector are doomed to fail. And that's not what we all believe America should stand for. The other thing is, of course, healthcare is my area. I'm a cardiovascular surgeon, a heart surgeon. I've been a heart surgeon for 15 years. And the healthcare bill that is passed is something that we're never going to be able to recover from it, let's put it that way, if we can't repeal it. It's not just about healthcare, but what it's going to do to private industry, what it's going to do to small business with the demands to provide coverage at the level where the government sees fit, and if you don't, they'll penalize you. It's an impingement on personal liberty, maybe unconstitutional impingement, by mandating U.S. citizens to purchase a product. And if they choose not to, be penalized by the government by fining individuals for not purchasing a product. I don't see that being anywhere in the Constitution that the federal government mandate that you or I purchase a product. It's probably unconstitutional. It's being challenged in 20 states at least across the country. The problem is by the time that gets through the court system, a lot of the program is going to be implemented and it may be too late for us to do anything about it. I think they'll find that the bill itself in that area is unconstitutional. So for me, if I'm elected to Congress, I'll be in favor of repealing the whole thing. And that's going to be a difficult task to get past the president, but my take on it is that if we can get the right people in Congress, we can go ahead and pass the repeal and make him veto it, and make all of the people out there that are going against 65 to 70% of the American people vote for it again and show whether they still think it's right, even though every day we're finding out new things in the bill, again, which causes us all kinds of financial problems and impinges on our personal liberties. As a physician, I want every person in America to have access to quality health care, and that's what America stands for, helping each other. But on the other hand, we need to do it in a fiscally responsible way and still allow people personal choice and not violate their rights. Myself, I'm married. I've been married for 19 years. My wife is an anesthesiologist. She's also a physician. We have 4 children, age 17 to 6. It's age 17, 15, 12, and 6. So I am really, as a father, truly concerned about the future of America because I want to see my children have the same opportunity that I have. And I think that we will get this thing turned around, so we do. I'm a Christian. I'm a member of the Lutheran Church. And my father-in-law actually is a Lutheran minister. So I have strong moral values, moral character, and I think that's important in elected officials. And as you know, we have some of our elected officials haven't met up to that standard in recent history, unfortunately. I'm very optimistic about America because if you look at history, we've always risen to the top. We've had significant challenges across history, and the American people have usually risen to the challenge. I think this year, 2010, the elections, not only in Indiana with the great candidates we have at the state house level, but nationally, I think the American people are going to vote in the right people to get us back in the direction that you and I believe that we need to take. I'm very optimistic. And I appreciate all the support that you can give me in this race because I think we're like-minded. And I think if with this administration, 2010 is so good. If we allow another 2 years of the liberal Obama administration and the liberal Congress to get things passed, there's a lot of things we're not going to be able to do. We're going to have a difficult time turning. And it's going to take us generations to fix it if we can. Again, reminder, the health care bill is over 2,000 pages. And it's impossible for people to read it. Even people in the National Party who have tried to read it so they can give candidates like myself the ability to discuss certain sections, they've not been able to get through it themselves and totally understand what the unintended consequences of this bill are. So that's who I am. Again, I've been in the race since Ellsworth was in the race because I thought he was voting the wrong direction. My current opponent, if you don't know, is a gentleman named Trent Van Haften. Trent is an attorney in Evansville and in Indianapolis. He's an elected state house representative, has been in the Indiana State House since 2002. He's in the leadership in the Indiana State House and has voted with the leader in the Indiana State House about over 90% of the time. And they have a liberal agenda. It's not consistent with the 8th District in Indiana. He has a significant amount of votes that I have concerns about, and I think that you'll find as this race goes along, will be clearly separating his candidacy from mine. Not only fiscally responsible programs that the governor's tried to institute that he's been against, but also on life issues he's had a mixed record in the Indiana State House, which is again inconsistent with, I think, the people, myself personally, the people of the 8th District. So the Democrats are not going to sit on their hands. They've already had a couple things about me. If you listen to what they say, I'm planning to take away everyone's Social Security. They ran an ad to that effect, which is, of course, completely false. But they have their playbook. They're going to play by it. All of us need to know that they're going to come after our party on privatization of Social Security. They're going to come after us on the standard issues that they think they can make America believe we stand for, which you and I in this room know.